Pike County Fiscal Court called to order. Madam Clerk, have a roll call of the members, please.
Judge Rutherford.
Present.
Master Anderson.
Here.
Master Johnson.
You here?
Master Murphy.
Here.
Master Robinson.
Here.
Master Dotson.
Here.
Master Harris.
Here.
We'll now have Pledge of Allegiance led by Magistrate Murphy, a veteran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let me say we welcome everybody here today. We have held 20 meetings on the budget since January. We held 2 public hearings, and to our surprise, nobody showed up. That we were completely transparent with our budget. We was on Pike TV with the work session. At the first work session, we told when the second work session would be, which is open for anybody that had any recommendations in regard to the Pike County budget this year. We of course, tough times in this county. All of you that's present in this courtroom, including everybody up here, knows, and we know people. We got thousands of coal miners making $85,000 a year that has no income today. The Obama administration has killed the coal industry for eastern Kentucky and killed the market. He waived the states of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Virginia. They can mine any way they want to mine. We can't, but they didn't help them. He's killed the market for coal. We mined about 32 million tons of coal a few years ago. We're down to 10.8. 10.8. Now just think about that. So the only thing we're going to have in the future is deep mines in this county. There's not going to be any other type mining, it looks like. So we're in trouble. We had all these meetings on our budget since January, and under the state statute, we have 16 steps to go by, and we have to follow their guidelines on a budget. And I said the 20 meetings, and that's from January of this year, right on through to today. Well, this is not the time to come in regard to the budget, but anybody here to speak in regard to the budget, if you have somebody speak for you, we're going to let you speak. The 2013-14 budget that was proposed on, how many of you all watch Pike TV in here? Gets in your home. How many gets Pike TV in their home? And I know that the people here, because if you get a cable system on Channel 99, you get Pike TV, where this camera is and this. We're completely transparent with the county business, completely. We had discussions openly here in regard to this budget this year. We talked about how your neighbors out there, the people who got cut off from the coal mine, was losing their homes, losing their trucks, losing their cars. And it's tough times for us. 3.3 million, 3.3 million, thereabout, is where we started out, that our severance tax was down. Imagine that. 3.3 million. Under the Kentucky law, we have to have and submit a balanced budget. That's the law. Regardless of what we have to do that. So we complied with the law. They have our 2013-2014 proposed budget, and it is back to us. It's been approved. Now I think we have to advertise it, and then the second reading and the vote on the budget will be June the 18th at the regular meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court at 10 a.m. That budget will be approved at that time. Then after that, if any changes to be made, then it can be amended. But it can't be amended now to comply with the 18 steps under the Kentucky statute and the guideline, because we would have to start over, and you don't have the time to start over. So today we've had a tough time. Last year we cut. Started out about 2.1 million we had to cut. We cut a number of employees. This year, I lose employed in my office, as busy as we are, we lose an employee, almost as much money that comes out of the fire department's budget, matter of fact. That we lose a position out of my office, and as busy as we are trying to provide services to this county, of the people of this county, 24,000 homes pick up garbage, and 800 miles of roads and bridges to maintain and keep safe. And we have a progressive county. We are probably to the point, and I say probably, I say we are to the point. I think everybody sitting up here realizes it. Can't cut anymore. Now, we've cut this year, we've submitted a balanced budget. Can't do that in the future. Severance tax is going to continue to ease down. And we can't depend on that anymore. Pike County has been number one in the coal production in Kentucky ever since they started keeping records. We're no longer number one in coal production. One county in western Kentucky, Union County, Riverview mined more coal than all of our coal operations in Pike County the last quarter. So we're not number one anymore. We are number one in the production of natural gas. We produce 53% of the natural gas in the Commonwealth. And that's the reason we have patents and America's energy capital. But tough times are ahead for everybody in this county. Every citizen is being affected. Every citizen is being affected. And God bless these coal operators. They're sitting at home around the table trying to balance their budget, like we've done around this table on Pike TV, sitting here a discussion how we balance the budget and still provide services. We looked at 5 different scenarios. They was put up on this screen. They was put on Pike TV for everybody in this county to see, and gave an opportunity for everybody to come in if you had any suggestions. Now, I had suggestions for you when I came in office. You didn't have but 2 fire stations when I came in 70, 2 in Pike County. I established during those 12 years this administration, or this fiscal court, let me add that, this body established 19. This body, the fiscal court, had got up to 29, plus branches. And we was able to buy 12 fire trucks at that time, as you all are aware. So you don't have anybody that supports you any stronger than the people sitting up here at this table. And we provide you with your fire school training funds. We didn't cut that. We provide you with the fire department maintenance. We didn't cut that. We pay for all of your insurance. On the buildings, most of the buildings belong to Pike County. We provide you not only with that, we pay your fire protection, we pay your liability on your equipment. And that came to $180,888. So your supporters are sitting up here. And I told you back when I came in office, you came to me, at that time you did have a strong organization. You had an organization and had, I think, Randy Courtney at that time was president, and he came to me and said, we want to talk to you about putting fire districts in. I said, get your chiefs together, get them together, come to me. If everybody agrees, then I'll propose it to the court. That was it. Nobody never showed up. Nobody never did show up. You could have had your fire districts, in my opinion. You'd have had to sold these members of this court that. But you had some fire stations who was making good money on bingo, and they didn't want to go to the fire districts. And that was simple. I understood the reasoning, but that now we end up taking just a cut of probably, about $80,000 or $90,000 from your budget. But every department got cut. I said I lost an employee of almost that much money out of my office, counting the benefits, as busy as we are. But we're glad you all showed up. We wished you'd have showed up for our work sessions. It was publicly in the paper. It was on as I said, Pike TV. If you have cable, you watched them, or some of you, I'm sure, watched them on those meetings. They was lengthy meetings, very lengthy. But we're glad that you all did come today. And the first thing we do, we have some company with us today representing CAECO on our insurance, health insurance. Kelly Harding's here, and Kelly is here, and of course he's down in the little west of Lexington around Bowling Green, where he has to go back to. But he wants to, he's here to answer any questions we got on the health insurance. But if we don't need him, if you don't need any questions, I think, Madam Treasurer, that we have discussed our health insurance at our meetings, at our work sessions, and if I'm right, we had no changes in regard to that this year. And if you or Mr. County Attorney, if you want to make a recommendation, and then we'll move on with our agenda today.
I think he has passed out a package, and, I haven't had time to review it. I guess I would recommend that we let everyone review it and renew at the next meeting, unless the magistrates are prepared to renew it at this time.
Mr. Harding, they have you, Rhonda, you and John knows how to get in touch with him if we need to, and you've left your business card with them and everything. Every magistrate has it in their packet. The county attorney said they could take it with them and bring it back to the next regular meeting of the fiscal court and for approval.
Is that soon enough?
Is that good enough for you all?
You don't have
Rhonda?
I'm not sure when the next meeting will be. I guess it's June 18th.
June 18th.
Is that correct?
Next be a regular meeting.
And we do an open enrollment at that point in time? I guess there are no changes,
There are no changes, so, Mr. County Attorney.
and it is in the budget.
I had some questions I was wanting to ask about. If it's possible, we could make some changes. I've had a lot of employees telling me that the deductible was so great that they were having problems with it. And since we have a representative here, maybe we can ask him.
Are there changes in this year's proposal from last year, or are those last year's changes?
No, there are no,
Deductible,
You
there's
would
no
need to come
change in
around to the
nothing.
podium, please, if you.
Yes, sir,
As a
Judge.
matter of fact, it's a 7.5% increase.
7.5% increase. Was that what was anticipated, Madam Treasurer?
Yes. We began at a 15% increase, and we were able to negotiate it down to a 7.5% increase, which relative to your claims we felt was a very strong renewal for this year.
Are there any, you said 7% increase, Magistrate Dotson said he was asking questions, he thought there were changes in this year's?
The 7.5% increase is reflecting the exact same plan designs that you have currently.
So the same things in this budget would be in last year's?
The health insurance, yes.
Health insurance.
From the health insurance
Magistrate
standpoint.
Dotson.
We've had a lot of employees call my office and me personally, and I don't know about the other magistrates, complaining about their having to pay so much deductible when they go into the hospital, upfront monies.
Yes, sir.
And we were hoping to try to get something resolved in that, maybe through another insurance company or your company or whatever. I know the more that you get, the more you got to pay. I understand that. And then with the 7% increase on our budget, it's going to be hard to do better for them. But I feel like a lot of them has got legitimate complaints on the deductible. You know, we pay 100%
Yes, sir.
family plan. We pay the whole deal for the employees, and I know they appreciate that. But they say when they go to the hospital, which I've experienced it too, the upfront money is what's hitting them so hard is the deductible. Is there any way we could do something about that?
Well, as you said, sir, the deductible is a reflection of the premium. There are 2 additional plans with lower deductibles that the employees, if they choose to, I think that you made available for them to purchase up into that plan, so they could reduce their premium by paying a little extra or paying a little for the coverage. Unfortunately, in our environment right now, with the increase in healthcare and healthcare reform hitting, we're finding premiums and prices going up significantly. So to find an alternative with a lower deductible for the same premium or less is unfortunately just not available. And we felt like with Anthem that the 7.5 was extremely strong considering the claims ratios we had this year. And Anthem continues to be the strongest in the area with networks, discounts. If there was another option, I promise you we would turn that stone over and found it.
Now, your company also carries different insurances, right?
Yes, sir. We represent all the carriers in the state, which there's only a handful. It's Humana, United Healthcare, Bluegrass Family Health, and Anthem. We work with all four.
I've heard that Humana is a good carrier. Have you?
We work with Humana quite a bit. Their networks in this area are not really strong, and their discounts aren't really strong. And so we find that Anthem is just a much stronger carrier in the eastern part of the state. Humana we find to be strong more in the Louisville areas, the Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati areas seems to be a strong point for them as well as United Healthcare.
What's the Humana deductible?
Well,
Up front.
you can get any set of deductibles you want. We can replicate this plan with any carrier, so it's relative. You know, we can ask for a $2,500, $500, or $1,000 deductible. I mean, we set that, or the fiscal court sets what we're looking for in terms of deductibles. If we go to them and ask for a lower deductible, it's going to be the same thing as Anthem. They're going to obviously going to have to charge more for the lower deductible.
Kelly, I've got a question.
Yes.
Would these healthcare exchanges that are being created now, would we have any opportunity in the future to benefit from those healthcare exchanges, or is that something that's just set up for private employees?
It's going to be for private and for individuals, and for initially it's going to be for groups under 50 employees, and in 2016 it'll be for groups under 100 employees. So those two items really won't address the Pike County Fiscal Court because of the size of the group.
Any other questions? If not, Jeannie, would you put on the agenda for the next meeting, please? Add it to the agenda for the next regular meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court. Mr. Harding, we'll be in touch.
Thank you,
I'm sure
sir.
there'll be some questions between now and then, so.
We're available, and thank you for putting me up into the agenda. I do appreciate that as well. Thank you, sir.
Because you're going to run into rain before you get home. Looks like.
Roland asked if you would consider it tonight. We got time.
Next, we have, for public comments, we have Randy Courtney. If you'll come around to the podium, please. And then we have Harold Rowe. We have two representing the people I understand that's here, so if, as soon as he finishes, if the other one will come around, it'll be fine. Randy, you represent all the fire departments, and you are the president of all the fire departments?
I guess I got elected to do that, yeah. They kind of nominated me when I walked in the door that said I was going to do that. So, I know we got we got Harold over here with Grapevine. He wants to say a couple things. And who else? Who else do you have? Is there somebody else from the fire
Let me say this. I received about 8 calls, I think it is, from fire chiefs that says you don't represent their fire stations. I didn't know what the problem is with that situation.
I'm president of the Pike County Firefighters. If they're with the firefighters, that's fine. If they're not, that's fine. We started getting calls last week, I did, about the budget, about taking money out of the ISO funding and stuff. And I know, I've been with the city for 23 years. I know about budgets with fire departments and stuff, and you have to have a budget. You have to have a balanced budget, just like you said. In a certain time, you have to have it, or you're breaking the law. It's required. We understand that. I guess the big thing is it's been talked about, and it's been talked about several times, that if you're going to take this money from us, then we need something else to supplement it. And we're looking to maybe, like you talked about earlier, several years ago, when you first come back, your first term in, me and you talked and we said fire tax, we said, or taxing districts. That's what we talked about. Me and you said, and you told me at that time, get everybody together.
Call it FAR fee districts.
Get everybody together. If all 26 departments agreed, we'd do it. Well, we had 2 that wouldn't really agree with us, so it fell by the wayside. Well, maybe a year ago, you had Doug and a couple of them started going around again to see if we could get it going. And I don't know exactly what all come out of that. Most of them wanted to, didn't want to.
Turn your mic up, Dave.
Most of them wanted to. There was some that still had reservations.
Yeah, still had a little reservations. So, and I think the big thing about the reservations is they think that they can't, if we do a subscription fee like Johnson County done, and that's what we were trying to model this after, right, Doug? A subscription fee, which, you know, like, say Island Creek, we send out a subscription fee to everybody on Island Creek, and it's for $40. I talked to my treasurer today. We send out like 480. We've gotten back 127. What is that like?
Get back about 20 or 25%.
Yeah,
You're lucky.
something like that.
Yep.
I talked to, we had a meeting the other day, and Greasy Creek told me that they sent theirs out, and they had one person send a check in last year. One person, that's all. Grapevine, I think Harold will probably touch on it. They're getting like 18% back. So the people are not going to pay willingly, just pay the fire departments for this. So the subscription fee goes on your property tax, and it's collected when you pay your property tax. If we look at this, we've looked at this, and if you do $35 for the year, straight across the board, my house, your house, everybody's house, no matter if it's worth $50,000 or $150,000 or $200,000, it's $35. That comes to less than 10 cents a day for fire service. I don't think if we explained it to the people, I know, magistrates, you're elected. I'm elected to the association. Not as big as you all are, but I'm elected. I know that if we explain this to the people and the citizens of Pikeville, Pike County, that I don't think that they would not query about it. I don't see how they could. 10 cents. If we went to 45, that's less than 12 cents a day. If we went to 55, it's less than 19 cents a day. 19 cents a day for fire service, for automobiles, for forest fires. We do everything. We don't just do structure fires. We do everything. So this is all protection. I don't see how they can not, feel the need for this. I had an insurance company today quote me some insurance on a home, $135,000 valued home, regular standard home, wood sided or whatever, nothing fancy. If you're in a fire department's area, if you're within 5 miles of the station or within 1,000 feet of a hydrant, you get their lowest class rating that they have, because everybody has a class split rating. 5.9, 6.9, 8.9, whatever. A class 5, that's generally the lowest that we have in Pike County. There is maybe a 4. I think Elkhorn might be a 4 where they're a city, but generally it's a 5, a class 5 rating. $135,000 home, a class 5 rating, their fire insurance for a year is $1,229. Now, if that fire department happens to not be there, that's a substation that's protecting them within that 5, it has to close down because they ain't got funds to keep the power on, the doors open, They have to close down, and they go back to a class 9 because they're out of their 5 miles from their main station or something or other. If they go to a class 9, they jump up to $1,624. That's a difference of $395 within a year's time. Just nothing else moving, just the fire department not being there. Hillman's been on the fire department. Master Murphy's been on the fire department. And so they know, just moving, that's a 32% increase in their homeowner's insurance. Well, if we had this subscription fee, not a tax, subscription fee, and we had this in place and we had money, we wouldn't have to close the doors. You might even have enough money coming in to where if Johns Creek is a Class 6, they may have enough money to get some supplies and get some more equipment, call for ISO to come in, do a rating. They might be able to drop to a Class 5. That way, the people in their area, their insurance would drop. And that's what it's all about, is keeping the low insurance premiums. So we're asking y'all to please consider this. And if anybody out here is not on board with this, you don't want it, please stand, speak your piece. It's open mic here. It's come on up. But I think the majority wants it and needs it. We understand you have to take money from us. We don't like it.
I understand.
Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it.
I don't like it
Nobody
taken out
likes
of my
it.
office either.
You all are probably not the wellest liked people. I understand that, right now. Now come August, when they ain't worried about budget, you might be back up there. Your popularity might get back up there. I understand that. Nobody likes losing money. And especially, we think we're volunteers. We don't get paid. We're out there every day and night. Elkhorn City, guys, was out 2 o'clock this morning fighting a structure fire. That's what we do, though. We love it. That's why we do it.
Got about 700 of you in the county
right.
certified.
You all do what you do because you love it. You like to be here. You might not like the ridicule. You might not like the cussing or the phone calls or whatever you get later on. But for the time being, most of the time, you like it, or you wouldn't run for office, or you wouldn't be here.
You said the key word, volunteer.
Well, that's true. That's true. And we do volunteer for it, and we do like doing it. And I don't think anybody here or any department here, there's 12 departments here tonight out of the 26. There's about 40 people here. Some's got more people.
Randy, why don't you try to get the rest of them, get back into your association and bring it together, and get a hold of Doug or Jeannie in my office, and we'll try to come and sit down and have a meeting with every one of you and that way we can get communications going between us. And I think that's what we need. We need to have more communication between us, and I said there's not anybody up here that don't understand the importance of fire departments. Gosh, you're the first line of defense, not only on fires, but you're first line of defense, and as Doug can tell you, we go through it all the time.
Yeah.
And disasters. Look, we couldn't survive if it wasn't for our fire departments doing these disasters. What you all do for us out there, just unbelievable. For our accidents, for those of you who are involved with rescue, for people that lost, and I know that Doug Tackett continuously, seems like that gets more often, of people that wanders off in the woods, and everybody has to get out, and we're fortunate to have some of the fire departments that have ability to assist. But gosh, we need to have more communication, and we need to have a strong association. And I hope that you can bring your people back together, and I'll be glad to come with Doug. We'll invite the magistrates that wants to be present. We'll come and sit down and get an understanding with you all in the future of what we do in this county. And because it is so important. We have, I know that we have a few hundreds of $1,000s that comes to the fire stations, besides what's been mentioned, what I mentioned here, that the drop in the bucket. We have severance tax money that comes in through our legislature and prioritized by this court. And of course that keeps going down, but we have money right now that your association needs to be aware of that's not been drawn down. And what is that amount, Madam Treasurer?
$130,000.
Got about $130,000 laying here in the county treasurer's office with nobody out here that even drawing down the money to use it.
Draw it. Here, I'll draw.
Yeah, I know, take your check, but it don't
I'll
work
draw
that way.
picture. What do you need me to draw?
The treasurer can
It
speak to
is
that.
the finance director who has contacted these fire departments on several occasions, and she could not get invoices from them in order to submit that will comply with the state. You've got, this is money from the 10-11 allocations. There were no money allocated the last 2 years in the budget because they were not being used. Dorton Fire Department has never applied for 8, 9, 10, 11 money. Feds Creek, neither time. Greasy Creek, neither time. Lookout, neither time. Fire and Rescue. Sycamore Fire Department, neither time. Turkey Creek, neither time. Then on this last allocation, Big Creek Volunteer Fire Department, Elkhorn City Volunteer Fire Department, Island Creek, Johns Creek, Kemper Fire and Rescue, Marbon Volunteer Fire Department, Millard East Shelbyana, Sycamore Volunteer Fire Department, Upper Pond Creek Volunteer Fire Department. These are a list of who will not submit claims that can go to Frankfurt to get this money back, which is an allocation of $3,846.15 for the 2 funding years of this year.
So what do you?
These were
say you need receipts?
$7,692.31.
Receipts, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They won't
For the,
produce them to
like the
get the money.
co-severance money, the 50,000 or whatever you got, you need the receipts to, so that was spent on what it was supposed to be spent on.
Now, also,
Correct. Those have to be in our hand before it can be even sent to Frankfurt to get an MOA signed for it
Now,
to get it back.
Okay.
These are all the departments. They used to give you $100,000 each budget year.
Right.
They reduced it to $50,000 because we couldn't get the fire departments to submit the invoices, and then they completely did away with it in the last funding of this of the 12-13 state budget.
And then you said didn't apply, what is?
Randy,
you
let
gotta
me
apply
tell you
for it?
why we're giving you this information.
Rhonda has contacted them and told them, there's money here to be divided equally. You have to submit these invoices, and if you don't, you can't get your money. Nobody will take the time to get Rhonda the invoices to get this money.
Okay.
Mr.
we'll-
Courtney,
we'll
the
work on
reason
that.
we're bringing this to your attention, the law has changed. There's not going to be any carryover money anymore. She's worked, our finance director has worked on extensions. We hope we're going to get some extensions, but
Don't know
the
for
law changed, and the new law says no carryover of funds from one fiscal year to the other. And that's the reason that these fire departments have been continuously called for the last few months, because when the legislature got in and had the new Severance Tax Act, that is in the act. So we need your cooperation. We'll give you a copy of this. You get a hold of those,
I was gonna
chiefs
say,
that's
maybe
not
we
here.
need to,
Any
maybe
of-
you got the station number and there's not a lot of people there. Maybe you need chief's cell phone numbers, chief's
Doug
home
can give you
numbers.
Doug can
things like
assist
that.
you in any way possible. We have, our policy has been from this body to let Doug deliver the checks to you, and I think the last one some of you got, he delivered your checks to you, so that you would have a contact with us and
Okay.
continue to have a
I
contact
understand.
with us.
Judge, one thing that I think most of these out here want to know is exactly how much will be coming out of the budget this year for us, the ISO money.
Basically, it's a quarter of what we spent this year, which was $338,000. Next year, there'll only be allocations for $244,500, which is a decrease of $93,500 or 25%.
You gotta break it down a
You need to
little
come
bit
to the
more.
microphone.
Belfry Volunteer
If you
Fire
have another
Department got
question, come to the
16.
microphone, please. You're on Pike TV.
Belfry Volunteer Fire Department got $16,000 last year. They'll get $12,000 this year. Big Creek Volunteer Fire Department, $10,000 last year, $7,500 this year. Blackberry Volunteer Fire Department, $12,000, $9,000. Co-Run Volunteer Fire Department, $20,000, $15,000. Dorton Volunteer Fire Department, $8,000, $6,000. Elkhorn City Volunteer Fire Department, $24,000, $18,000. Feds Creek, $8,000, $6,000. Farrells Creek, $8,000, $6,000. Same for Grapevine, $8,000, $6,000. Greasy Creek, $2,000, $1,500. Gulliner Volunteer Fire Department, $2,000, $1,500. Hatfield Volunteer Fire Department, $6,000, $4,500. Hurricane Volunteer Fire Department, $20,000, $15,000. Island Creek, $10,000, $7,500. Johns Creek, $16,000, $12,000. Kemper Fire and Rescue, $40,000, $30,000. Lookout Fire and Rescue, $8,000, $6,000. Marbon Volunteer Fire Department, $20,000, $15,000. Millard East Shelbyana, $40,000 down to $30,000. Phelps Volunteer Fire Department, $24,000. This is a typo on this one. This will go down to $18,000. Yeah, 24 down to 18. Shelby Creek Rescue, $2,000 to $1,500. Shelby Valley Volunteer Fire Department, $18,000 to $13,500. Turkey Creek, Sycamore, $2,000 to $1,500. Turkey Creek, $6,000 to $4,500. Upper Pond Creek, $8,000 to $6,000. That's what all the fire departments will go to.
Judge Hayes?
Got that?
Did you have a statement you want?
Judge, only this, with the deduction, Randy, down to 244, that 25% that she's just been going over. But adding back in the fire school training, the fire department building maintenance, and the fire protection insurance, which was not touched, it didn't receive no deduction. Out of the county budget, what goes to the fire departments is almost $500,000, $425,388. Now, that's not to say they don't need more, and these cuts won't hurt. But let me reiterate what the judge has said. There are going to be people all around county government that are going to be hurting, and this court and this judge is going to be hurting for them. They already have been, and we hurt for the fire departments. We know that it hurts. We cut the Pike County Jail's budget. What, John?
5%, which was $200,000.
I mean, it's been across the board. We're not picking on
I
our
understand.
volunteer.
I read the paper, and I've seen
Yeah.
it on 99.
Yeah.
Another thing, Judge, I'd like to apologize for not coming to some of those those work sessions, but this is what we elect you guys for, is to work our money and do it the best to your ability and the fairest that you can do.
Randy,
So
we
that's why I
appreciate-
don't come until it
appreciate
gets down to
that.
the nitty gritty. And then it's probably too late, like you said. Like I told the people here Sunday at our little meeting we had, it's probably too late. You cannot change it today. They have a deadline. It has to go in. It has to be approved. It can't be changed. We can work on something and maybe get something other avenue to get it back, which would be
Well, we
the
want
subscription fee.
everybody to know that the fire departments, we understand the importance of them. This court, as we said, with the money that's appropriated, we just want to have a better discord. We want to have the communication line open with all the farmers in Pike County. We couldn't survive without you. Our homes wouldn't be protected, and our businesses wouldn't be protected. And people's having a tough time budget-wise out there. We sat around this table right there, just like people sitting in their kitchen tables at home trying to figure out how to survive. And we're just the end of the line. If to put it mildly, we're running on fumes.
Exactly.
We're running on fumes right now. We've cut all we can cut. We've cut all the employees we can cut. If we continue to provide the services people expect us to provide, we can't cut anymore. We cut the last budget down to bare bone. And this time, as Judge Hayes, the personnel director, said, we took a scaffold to it and tried to ease the burden by going across the budget and trying to understand what the meaning was. A position that's gone, the job is not there, but it's human, it's a family. And gosh, these Judge Hayes and I go through it. They walk through our door for the last 2 or 3 months. These blessed coal miners are not losing their home, losing their truck, losing their cars. And it's just sad that we got in this position. We are one of the most progressive counties in Kentucky, and I think we as a body realize in the future we're going to have to look for other revenue.
Other revenue.
And that-
We are.
That intends.
Not just for us,
that
but
it
for
not
you all.
intends for you all, but it intends for Pike County government to continue to offer the services
Right.
that we're expected to offer. And let me say this. We have got to do something about the fact that the city of Pikeville gets as much severance tax money that the court gets. They get as much money as usually as we get. For the first time in the history of this county, with this budget, when we approve it at the next fiscal court meeting, the city's budget will be larger than the county's budget. And folks, they only represent 10% of the people. And we represent the other 90% of the people. So that's going to have to change.
Right.
It has to. The system is wrong. It's going to have to change. We're going to have understanding. That severance tax money, we can't depend on it anymore. So we're going to have to, in the future, look for
Have
other
some other
revenue. The
fundings.
people in the county just need to understand this. We have a great county. We offer great services today. We're no longer a distressed county under the ARC regulations. Pikeville, we work with the city of Pikeville on every project we can work with them on, folks. We work with them because they're our county seat, but we're the most rural county in the Commonwealth. And they only represent 10% of the Pikeville. And that's after they went out and annexed and took in other areas of the county. They're representing 10%. If they had not done that, then their population would have went down this last sentence, and the counties would have went up. But they annexed into some areas and brought their population up, and they grew 0.4%. And we went down just about that. So we certainly are not here saying we're not going to work with the city when it's beneficial for the citizens of Pikeville. We represent the city and the county, this body here does. We represent everybody. We represent the businesses and we represent the working people. And we represent all the people of this county. But Randy, we appreciate
Thank
you
you.
all coming. I think Harold had something he wanted to say.
I
And
you know,
I think you had to.
just wanted to say we appreciate y'all that you have done. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. We wouldn't have 26 fire departments without y'all.
We
We do appreciate you. We didn't like it. We don't like losing money, like I said earlier,
I
but
know.
just wanted to come and let y'all know that.
But please, bring your
Rhonda.
people back in, get your
Rhonda.
chiefs organized. You're gonna have to do that.
Bring that
and,
tomorrow to the meeting. Copy that, and I'll call them departments.
Judge, before Randy sits down, I'd like to say a few words, if I
Go right
could.
ahead, please.
Randy, you know, I admire every firefighter out there. I've been there and I've done that, and I know what it's like. And these people are the ones we might be looking at to come to our house to save one of our loved ones. And, you know, we need to keep a good, strong fire department. I agree with what you just said. But what the judge just went through was some of the numbers there that was thrown out, that we tried to come up with a balanced budget. It's not good. It's not going to be good for anybody in the county. We're losing about $100,000 out of each department in our road funds. You know, that's going to affect you guys out working, you know, if we can't keep the roads maintained and keep them built. So we're going to take a beating on our road money out of our road departments this year. And, you know, we're losing employees in the county. And, you know, I think as a county can stay strong and we can bounce back. You know, we have got a lot to look forward to in this county. It's growing, and I think the coal is coming back. People are getting ready to go back to work, and I think we just need to meet and pray about these things and hope we come up with a resolution. But reading your article in the paper there, you know, you guys can vote us out. You vote us in. That's what you said. You know,
That was a quote, Russ.
that is y'all's privilege. You know? But you know, as a county, we're here to represent everybody and do the best. This would be the last thing we'd want to do is cut our fire departments. And, you know, I can see the growth in Phelps Fire Department. I helped them build that station.
You did.
I done,
You was right
done
there.
a lot of the legwork, and I've seen it happen, and I know what a good station we have. And we have the best equipment right now that anybody could ever want.
I don't know about the chief, but, you know, we're all right there.
I must not be sounding good enough. They're leaving, but
That was our page. They got a page.
but you know, we have got a good group of firefighters, and we need to stand behind them. And I pay my subscribers fee, and I hope everybody else does. I know it's helpful.
Yeah.
But we have got $200,000 in the co-severance going to Phelps, I think, next year. That's a lot of money, you know, for a fire department. And they have other fire departments that's requested co-severance money and been able to get it and use it and buy trucks. And I think Kemper's got some trucks. And
Yeah, they got some.
you
new
know,
trucks.
we've had like 50,000 per year with the request of the departments for repairs and things on their stations. And this court, I think, stands willing to help.
Yeah.
But
I
there's
agree.
things I think, you know, the fire departments can do too, you know. I park my vehicle at the courthouse and I use it for personal reasons. I don't use it for that. I use it for company, county business. And that's trying to save some money on our fuel. And a lot of times there might be a run out there that an ambulance could take care of instead of sending 2 or 3 fire trucks. You know,
Well,
you see that happen sometimes.
Yeah, that's dispatch procedures
Yeah.
and stuff, so yeah.
But, you know, there's ways that we can all work together and try to save. And next year, hopefully, we'll have a better budget and we can get right back to where we were.
And we can be here and help you get that way, maybe.
Well, you know, I hope so.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm willing to take a cut in my pay. Every time I pick a newspaper up, they're talking about the magistrates drawing too much money and they won't take a cut in their pay. And that's the only check that I have is what I get from the county. I don't have a second income. And, you know, some of the employees that I got working for me draw more than I do. And we've got
Wow.
employees, and we can make more than what we draw. You know, our salaries could be $65,000 a year, and I think, you know,
69.
is it 69? And what do we get?
45.
45. So, you know, there's some room there that we could set our salaries.
Right.
But I'm satisfied. I live and I got something to eat every night and a place to sleep, and I just thank God for all that.
Well, like I said, we thank you, and we know that y'all have done a lot for us, and we'll work together and we'll get through it. Ain't nobody quitting. Ain't nobody gonna lay down the keys to the fire stations. We wanna be there. We wanna fight.
Yeah, I'm a firefighter too, have been for years, and I helped start a fire department. Had one tragedy one night, lost 2 friends. I had 38% burns over my body, and I spent 15 days in the burn unit.
You did.
And you got friends up here, that's for sure.
Thank y'all.
Harold Rowe, come around, please. Randy, thank you for coming, and I hope that you can bring your fire chiefs together, and we'll be glad to work with you.
My name's Harold Rowe, and I represent the Grapevine Volunteer Fire Department. 3 years ago, we had to reorganize that fire department. We had $542 in the account when we started. And we dug and raked, and when W. Keith and the county helped us get some co-severance tax money. But I don't think that the court really realizes what this will do to some of the smaller. Like I said, we got 18% back on our fire days. Now, a lot of this money that you get from co-severance tax has to be earmarked for what you put down you're going to buy. It has to be equipment. It's not for fixing your fire department. Now, this maintenance fund, I never heard about. The 3 years that we've been there at Grapevine, we bought the material for the roof. The county came and put it on for us, and we appreciate that. We had to put new windows. We had to put a new ceiling in it. We had to put a new heat pump. And in the bay, we had to put new gas heat in the bay. We had to put a new septic system in. We done all this out of our funds, not out of county funds. And right now, this could possibly close our department. I'll be honest with you. If we get 18% return this year, and we lose this $2,000 when the money runs out, Randy said nobody's bringing their keys in. I'll be the first to bring mine and drop them on your desk when the money stops. Because we've done everything we can do. The community's not supporting us. And, you know, like if I don't know if we had this big maintenance fund, I'd been trying to get some of this stuff done to our department through the maintenance fund.
No, it's
When
not a
we
big
pay for it.
maintenance fund. It's only 10,000
Well,
to
we
try
got-
and do for whatever the county owns, so that's not much money to go around.
Well, we got zero.
Have you asked for it?
And we got 50,000 co-severance tax, less $3,800. And we brought receipts in 3 times for that $3,800 and still don't have it.
Have you
That would
asked,
be a big help to us if we had it.
have you asked for coal severance money for repairs to your station?
We got 50,000, like I said, less 3,800 that we never did get. They told us to bring receipts in. We brought them in 3 times. And we still haven't got that other 3,800 of it. But we're supposed to be,
3456 to be exact.
but we are in for, we're supposed to be in for another 50,000 if we get it. But like I said, that don't pay power bill. You can't pay power bills and maintenance fees on your buildings and all that out of this. This is earmarked for equipment only.
You gotta turn in for what you get.
Yeah, and it has to be for equipment. We were told equipment only on the 50,000. So that did, we do have, we bought turnout gear. We put in for a forestry grant. We bought new radios out of the forestry grant, and we've dug everywhere we can dig. But now our funds are dropping low, and community, like I said, 18%. If the county don't help us with this FAR district or something, some of these smaller departments are going to close. They got no other choice.
Judge
And
Hayes, you want to-
I've heard them talking the other day about some of these departments getting 40,000 and some getting 30,000, and you've got some, and I won't mention their names, that has big profits coming in. It's knocking the rest of us out of getting the FAR district. And if this court votes, they vote on a majority. Why should we have to have 100% of these FAR departments want this to get it? These that's got big money coming in, they don't want it. They don't care. But now I'm sitting over here at Grapevine and scraping for everything I can get, and still barely keeping the doors open on it. We had to just completely redo that fire department. Even the door openers cost us like, I don't know, $2,700 for new door openers because the doors wasn't even open when we took it over. Yesterday, we had to have a guy come out of Florence, Kentucky, and work on one of our trucks. Probably going to cost us about $2,000 time the bill comes in. And we're getting low on funds. And when the money runs out and we can't get no other money, there's nothing else left we can do is either close it to the rest of the year until some money comes back through or...
Chairman Rowe, now I want to talk to the people in Grapevine that's got Channel 99. You've heard your chairman of your board say that you all have a fire department and that you all as citizens of Grapevine are not supporting it. If you want a fire department to be there for you to maybe save a life, as Magistrate Dotson said, or to save your home, or to be there in the case of disaster, you're going to have to send your money in. Going to have to support your fire department. And as Chairman Rowe said, that they're going to have some help and have these communities that want these fire departments. I want to commend you all at Grapevine. And Doug, I want you, before Judge Hayes is next, you're the fire coordinator. I want you also to make a statement when he's finished. But Judge Hayes, I think you had something you wanted to say.
Actually, Judge, you just said part of it. I wanted to commend Harold myself and the entire Grapevine Volunteer Fire Department, because I know you fellas took over right much of a mess a couple of years ago, and you've straightened the mess out, and you're to be commended highly for that. And but I wanted to clarify one thing, Harold, and make sure everybody understands. In the help that we try to give, this court tries to give to the fire departments, I know in your specific instance, the roof that had to be replaced, you remember the leaking, they might as well not had a roof up there when you came in, I think, but it was our Public Works Department that went up and actually did the labor on that. I think the deal was you all bought the material and we actually did the labor and saved you that. And we've done that with regard to several volunteer fire department buildings whether or not, Doug, we own them or not, we always try to help as much as we can. I just want to make sure that I pointed that out.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it, but, you know, it's just like the septic system. We had to put a new septic system in. We had to hire back ourselves. You know, the county could have helped us with that. When we have ditches we had to have dug, and actually we put a landing zone for a helicopter in. We had a dumpster up there was giving us problems, and it was either gate the dumpster off, and we asked the county to either put a chain link fence across it to keep the dumpster. But during the time that this was developing, we got with Wings, and we ended up putting a helicopter landing zone in, which has been used twice up there, which to me is more important than the dumpster. A lot of people are upset over that, and I understand that, but it's just, you know, we did what we thought was right in putting that landing zone in, and the county helped us with that, and we appreciate that. But like I said, we've got to have funding for somewhere, and I beg this court to not let a couple of fire departments knock the rest of us out and not be able to get these fire districts or subscription fees or whatever they want to call it. Because it's not fair for 18% of my community to support the other 78% or whatever. They all need to pay their fair share. And if we had this, these fire departments could survive. But if the court cuts our funding and don't help us back to get these fire districts, we're not going to survive. I know mine won't.
Doug Tackett. Doug is our fire coordinator with the county and emergency management director.
The fire departments are really only as strong as the communities themselves make them. They live off of the community. The community created those fire departments, and the community needs to support them as much as they possibly can. And 18% is not a lot of support.
I'd say it's just the least in the county, I'd say.
When Grapevine was reorganized, the first meeting we had up there had a large showing from the community.
Yeah.
And the community definitely then had interest, and they need to show that interest again and support the fire department, because you guys have come a long way from where you started. I mean, the improvement is tremendous.
You know, if it comes to the point that we have to lock the doors for a couple of months, it might wake some people up, because it may come to that with us.
But that would be a shame to have to do that. It really would, because the community could suffer in those 2 months.
I know Jeff Tansel couldn't be here, but Jeff Tansel and myself, we've been all over this state bumming equipment. Yeah. And we've hauled equipment from Louisville, we've hauled equipment from Mercer County, and we've even got fire trucks donated to us as far as right on this side of Louisville. And we went, and Jeff was a big part of getting that. But unless, you know, we had got a lot of that stuff donated to us, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. Because we bought a truck off Island Creek, actually bought 2 trucks off Island Creek. One was a mini pumper and one was a actual pumper. But we haven't got any of these big grants to get new trucks like a lot of these departments have got. We're just struggling to provide a service. And, you know, and we do EMS, but that will probably go. That'll have to go first thing.
Well, Mr. Rowe, we appreciate you coming before the body today. We appreciate each person that's here. I take all telephone calls. My business card has my cell phone on it. If you call and don't get me, I'll call you back. That's the policy. And I'll be glad to talk to any of you at any time. And I'm going to be Randy Courtney. I'm going to be talking and meeting with Randy Courtney. And hopefully we can get the fire chiefs together, get this association built back strong like it needs to be. And then as we look at our revenue problem in the future, we can discuss it. Magistrate Murphy.
Yes, Judge, I just wanted to commend these guys too, because I've been around the whole time, and I know what a mess they took over there to bring it back to life. And they have done a tremendous job, and this court will support you all we can, and we'll guarantee you that. But they've done a tremendous job since they took it over, and they had a mess to take over there.
Magistrate Harris, we know that we went through this with Upper Pond Creek, and they had to reorganize.
I was just going to say that, Judge. Mr. Rowe, if I'm certain that if you called Louis Carson or Emerson Varney here in the second row, talk to those guys about what they did at Upper Pond Creek to build community support, because you have to have that. I mean, as a volunteer, community-based fire department, you gotta have support from your community before you're gonna succeed. It helps you with volunteers, getting people in to be volunteers for your program, and as well as financially for the program. And those guys have done a great job at Upper Pond Creek after what sounds like a real similar situation to what you walked into at Grapevine. And you can talk to those guys, and they'll tell you what they've done to build community support up there, and they're doing great. So talk to those guys and see if you can get some ideas, maybe help you build some community support there at Grapevine.
Well, the biggest thing that hurt us was the dumpster. You know, people just didn't like losing that dumpster. They'd come in there, they'd fill it up, and we'd kind of rope it off, and it'd be laying all around the sides of it. When solid waste comes out, they said, we will not pick a stitch of it up. It's the fire department's responsibility to pick that trash up. We were just organizing and just getting members, and members, new firefighters are not going to go out there and clean up around a dumpster every day. And people were throwing bee gums in it, dead dogs in it, deers in it. And we just asked, the court or the county if they would just, we sent a letter to the judge.
Mr. Rowe, thank you for coming before this body today, and as everybody stated up here, you have the support of this fiscal court. All the fire departments do, and we appreciate it and glad you all came out this evening, and we'll be working with you. Thank you all. We'll go back to our regular agenda. We want to acknowledge the receipt of the budget of the Big Sandy Area Development District and say to Sandy Runyons, who's here, that we appreciate your cooperation in the past. Pike County could not be as successful, and I've said that many times, in your presence and out of your presence, if it had not been for the Area Development District of what you all have done and what you do for the citizens of the 5 counties that you all represent. But I have a motion to accept the receipt of the budget. Motion by Magistrate Murphy. Do I have a second? I have a second. Magistrate Johnson, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson. Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford. Approve the minutes.
Okay. Next, we have for approval of the minutes, you have a copy. I went over the minutes, found them to be correct, of May the 21st and May the 24th. That's when we was doing our workshops and our budgets. So we will ask for a motion in regard to that motion, and have a motion to have a second. Have a second. Magistrate Murphy, have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. I want to read a statement that we put out to the press today. Our attorney, Gary Johnson, and I have just returned from New York in mediating a case that we'd had, for almost 6 years against Purdue Pharma. And I'm going to read you the media news release that was agreed on at these mediation in New York. And I have nothing to say beyond this because I had the input of what's in here for the county, and there'll be no other statement made. Pike County announced today the resolution of litigation between the county and Purdue Pharma. The county filed claims against Purdue in October 2007. Purdue has agreed to pay the county $4 million in exchange for dismissal and release of the county's claims. After 6 years of litigating this case, the county is pleased to have this resolved in this manner. Judge Rutherford, Pike County Judge Executive, stated, finally, Pike County government will have the funds to make a difference in drug addiction. We can now establish the Pike County Reentry Partnership Program for people convicted of drug violation. It has taken years to get this done, and Attorney Gary C. Johnson was passionate and brought this about. Donald Odell, the mediator on this litigation, was great to work with. I don't have anything to say beyond that, but for the press's information, we will have a announcement in regard to this facility, which will be built and be constructed at the Justice Building on what floor is that on? Third floor. And we will proceed, and we'll be back before this body to as soon as the design is finished, to get this approved and get it out for bid. And so that's all I have to say, and that is based upon the agreement. And so that is that, and we'll move on to the awarding of bids. If you have any, Mr. Stacy, proceed.
I've got one bid to present to the court. It's bid number 26 for 2013 for 2 concrete bridges at various locations in District 5. The first bridge was at Lick Fork of Joe's Creek. We received 7 bids. First bid was JBC Incorporated of Pikeville, submitted a no bid. Labco LLC of Elkhorn City, total price $238,000. Tom Wright Construction of Pikeville, $43,125. York Smith Construction of Pikeville, $39,810. Trey Atkins of Kemper, $30,500. Pikeville Paving of Raccoon, $30,240. And Evans Construction of Betaville, $28,721. Bridge number 2 is Scott Fork at Meta, received 7 bids. First bid was JBC Incorporated of Pikeville, submitted a no bid. Labco LLC of Elkhorn City, $246,000. Tom Wright Construction of Pikeville, $47,500. York Smith Construction of Pikeville submitted a no bid. Pikeville Paving of Raccoon, $33,264. And Trey Atkins of Kemper, $32,400. And Evans Construction of Betaville, $29,874. It is recommended to award bridge number 1 for Lick Fork at Joe's Creek to the lowest bidder, Evans Construction, having the lowest bid price of $28,721. And it's recommended to award bridge number 2, Scott Fork at Meta, to the lowest bidder, who is also Evans Construction, having the lowest bid price of $29,874.
Do I have a motion to take the recommendation of Mr.
Judge, I'd like
Stacy?
to make a motion to go ahead and get these bridges underway.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. Mr. Harris, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Next, we'll have the magistrate's road work.
Motion.
Magistrate Anderson to have a second. Have a second. Magistrate Murphy, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Now we have magistrate's comment. Magistrate Anderson.
I don't have any comments.
Magistrate Johnson.
I don't have anything to do.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Judge, I'd just like to say that we're moving along in District 5. We're running short on money, but we're getting the Hatfield-McCoy amphitheater, just got it completed with our
Pull that up on the
dressing
screen.
rooms. And last court meeting, we just finished the gym at Kemper, you know. We were pleased to see that project. You was over there doing the dedication on it. And we're getting the bathrooms built over at, you can see the addition there on the screen up there on the back. All we gotta do now is get it stained to match the front part. And the carpenters, Damon said, inspected it this morning, said it was a really good job, and it's progressing good. And the bathroom, it's about 4 block high on the seam. I don't know if he got one to hit or not. You got one to hit, Brandon? He got, Daniel said he didn't have any on hit, but hopefully next meeting we'll have a update on hit. But this past weekend, there were 5 churches that came together at this stage here, and they had probably 250 people with a good church event, and they had fish fry and chicken and all the good stuff, and everybody enjoyed it. And you know, it's good to have things like this in the county that people can take part of, and I'm just glad to be part of it. And I know this court has been awful generous in getting these things done, and I appreciate them and everything they've done. But mainly right now, you know, with our money situation, we're potholing and trying to cut weeds. The weeds are overtaking us, the rain, and getting calls every day, but we've not made a complete round, have we, Frank, on our weed cutting, but the boys cutting somewhere every day, trying to catch up, and hopefully we can get another weed mower going if we can, and try to get called up. And I know the other magistrates are having the same problem, but just plea for the people to bear with us. Thank you.
Master Harris.
I'll just say I'm excited too, Hillman, about the plays that are coming up this summer at the Hatfield-McCoy Amphitheater. I get a lot of compliments on that amphitheater, and a lot of times they think they think it's in District 6, and half the time I correct them, half the time I don't. But I really, it's a wonderful facility, and there it is up on the screen. The show times, they start July the 27th is the first show, and I'm really excited about that. I think that's going to be a real hit and a popular thing to have. I would like to say that I have a donation here from a person who used Grants Branch Park, and we don't normally accept donations, but this person kept putting this donation in the caretaker's hands up there, and he didn't want to take it, and he kept putting it in his pocket, and he said, I can't take it, so he brought it down to me at the magistrate's office. So what I've got here is a $50 bill from somebody at Grants Branch Park who used the park, loved it so much they wanted to contribute and wanted to be a part of it, and so I want to turn that over to the treasurer today and ask that she put that in the Grants Branch Park account. This weekend, we've got an exciting event that's going to go off in District 6 and District 5. It's the Hatfield-McCoy Marathon. It's the biggest marathon yet. I think almost 800 people already from all over the country and from other countries have signed up to run in this marathon that goes through, passes many of the Hatfield-McCoy feud sites. And the runners just absolutely love it, and it grows every year, and it's become a real positive thing for our area. It's got a lot of people involved in exercising. The Tug Valley Road Runners Club has done just a fantastic job of getting the community involved in different exercise programs and track night at the Belfry High School, and I just want to thank them for all the work that goes into putting this together. It'll be a real fun time this weekend, and I hope that the weather cooperates with us.
Hey, Judge, are you through?
No, but you can go ahead. I'll yield to you, Chick, if you got something you want to say. Okay. The last thing I've got is I too am getting a lot of complaints about weeds. We asked Johnny Anderson at the courthouse to go down and cut the weeds at South Williamson. They said they were up to their waist down there, and I know I drive by Black Gym every day, and they need to be cut there as well. So, yeah, the weeds I know is going to be an issue. So if there's a way that maybe Davis we can work together to try to get Johnny to help take care of the South Williamson Park, and the others we just have to keep up as best we can, but I did want to pass that along that we needed some weeds cut in District 6. That's all I've got.
Master Dotson or Master
Judge,
Johnson, who
Chick,
wanted?
I just want to jump in front of you. Just take me about a half a minute. I just want to say that when I come in town today, that I thought I was going to Lexington. All them beautiful flowers, and I want to commit.
It's beautiful.
On the city for what they're doing. I mean, it's beautiful.
We have a most beautiful city in Kentucky.
It is.
the county
It's
seat.
growing
There's no
every
doubt
day,
about
but I just want to let them know they're doing
that.
a
And
good
we're
job.
proud of it.
Keep the good work up.
Chick, Master Johnson.
Judge, I was going to tell everybody up Chevy Creek Saturday at Longport Community Center up there, they're going to have a miners memorial thing up there. Anybody wants to come, it's all free. It's gonna have music, and all kind of food cooked. It's gonna be for anybody who wants to come to it. And I want to thank the Shelby Valley firefighters for being down here today, Judge.
Yes, indeed. Next we have, if you pull up on there, we'll run through this, not the ones we've already talked about. The county pools are open. So the county swimming pools, if you pull them up, we're glad to announce that the pools are open throughout the county, Monday through Saturdays, from 6 p.m. to 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And the daily admission price is only $1 and free to children under 5 years of age. And we even had a television station at Hazard that come over and did a public safety thing with one of our swimming pools. But it looks awful cool there with some of this hot weather we've had at these pools. All of our slides are in and are in operation. And Jeannie, I want to thank you, John, Doug, and everybody who has worked on these pools and has our lifeguards try to keep these people safe and to look out after our children and with our lifeguards. But the pools are open. We just had the horse ride, if you pull that up. And as I've said, we have the most beautiful horse ride anywhere in Central Appalachia. It is a spring ride, and if you've got several pictures, go ahead and roll them. This is absolutely beautiful in the Fish Trap Park. Back in there, it's 6 miles till you get to where you eat, and it was well attended this year. It's going to grow. We've got some problems on an access road getting back to about several hundred acres. Back on top of the mountain, we will start next year. We won't be at the head of Lick Creek. We'll be on top of the mountain if everything works out. But look at this beauty that we have here in Pike County in eastern Kentucky, and these streams that we have, and the beauty of these streams. And we realize that all we read in the paper that our coal industry has killed our streams. There are no fish in them. We dispelled that during hillbilly days when up at Millard, Kentucky, it was shocked, and we brought all the big fish in out of the river and announced that during hillbilly days in a news release that we are now Blue Stream. We can advertise for tourism purposes. Our tourism and they can come and fish our streams, tourists. We also have, and Brandon's working on a story of a local fisherman, is the only one on the pro circuit. He has provided Brandon with many pictures of the largest bass he's caught all over the country, was caught in the streams here in Pike County, in the Big Sandy River and our lakes. But the Tug Fork Sweep, Charles Carlton has worked on this between the state of Virginia, state of West Virginia, and of course here in Pike County, Kentucky. Hillman and Mr. Hatcher and others was involved in this, going to be involved this year. It moved this year and goes over on the West Virginia side. We'll be cleaning in the river, and on the Kentucky side, on the West Virginia side this year. Then it goes to Virginia, and then it comes back to us. We want to thank Pike TV for the job that they did last year and the coverage they had in regard to the river sweep. We love our streams. We want our streams to be clean. We want our county to be clean. We want tourists to continue to come, especially with the Hatfield and McCoys that we've talked about here today. The Pike County Clerk's Office, if you pull that up, it has announced new hours, and we want the people of the county to know so that you'll know when they're open now. And effective first week of June, they've opened. Friday hours have been changed to 8:30 in the morning to 5 p.m. And normal working hours apply to the rest of the week. So William Pearl A. had asked that we announce at the court meeting today. We have a Lee Robinson dedication ceremony. Lee Robinson is a beloved citizen of the county, and we have that set. We want to invite all the magistrates and the public to come out. It'll be at the Marbone Fire Department, which he was active in establishing, and served with it until he passed away. Kenneth Robinson, his son, invites everybody to come up. The family will be there, and we will unveil, and it will go on a bronze plaque that will go on the wall in memory of Lee Robinson. We've talked about the Hatfield and McCoy production at the McCoy Park already. Next, if you'll pull up the Vietnam Wall. We're blessed. We love our veterans. They give us the right to be here, the freedom that we have as a county, as a state, and as America. They have paid the debt. Many paid all. One in my family paid all in Iraq. But we have an opportunity for Vietnam veterans who we feel, as many Americans, were not treated properly when they returned from the Vietnam War. We need to honor these veterans. More was killed in the Vietnam War than any of the wars in recent years. So they're coming here on July, the dates are July the 3rd to the 7th. And this is one that the city and the county sponsored, and the Veterans Organization and people who contribute. They're bringing 2 helicopters in that'll be available. They're fully armed helicopters, and we'll announce they don't shoot, but they are controlled by the federal government. They'll be brought in here on low buoys. They will be up there to sea. This will be a solemn thing. It will give people closure, and we lost a lot in this area of Central Appalachia since we are the most patriotic area of the United States when the Commander-in-Chief declares war. So we look forward to that. We're able to bring the veterans in. Anybody want to contribute can see Jeannie Robinson, and she will be glad to make sure that we do it. We've had a lot of sponsors besides the veterans group. The veterans group we will follow the agenda set up by the federal government on this tour that we have, and they have their guidelines. Bobby Branham and Jeannie went to Charleston last year and got their guidelines. We will meet them. They come out of the South. They will meet by escort of a city police car and a sheriff's car with a motorcycle escort, and they'll be brought to the Bob Amos Park where they'll be set up. So what an opportunity this is, and it will be a solemn occasion during this period of time they will be here. So that is all that we have in announcements today. And we want to go next to the magistrate. We got the magistrate's comments. We want to go to the county attorney's business, please.
Judge, just one matter. Been working for some time to come up with an interlocal agreement between Elkhorn City and Pike County about trying to develop the Stone Cold community. And there is a interlocal agreement in the package, and this basically is in order that Elkhorn City can go ahead and apply for a couple of grants and beat the July 1st deadline. This is to set up our obligations under the agreement would be assuming that we get the land from the state to donate the use of the land, and I would recommend that the court pass this to give you permission to
Mr. County
this
Attorney.
agreement, of course, subject to Elkhorn City agreeing the same.
Mr. County Attorney, Magistrate Murphy and I attended a meeting in Lexington where this was discussed, and it is an opportunity for CDBG money and other monies, and but only one can be applied for by each year, and the county has, a county entity has applied for one. So this is an opportunity to get money, and we have to have this agreement with them so they, as the county attorney said, so they can proceed. Do I have a motion, Magistrate Murphy? Motion, Magistrate Murphy, had second, Magistrate Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Ruth.
Mr. County Attorney, that will authorize the county judge executive to sign in all documents that may need to be signed.
That's correct, Judge.
You want to go in now, or you want to get treasurer's business? Let's get the treasurer's business out of the way. Madam Treasurer.
Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health and life insurance.
Do I have a motion? Motion, Magistrate Murphy. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy.
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson.
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Ruth.
Yes.
pass over the next item till the next meeting. First reading of a budget amendment number 6 for the fiscal year 2012-2013. Assistant County Attorney, please.
Yes. In summary form, this is a budget amendment 6, an ordinance relating to fiscal year 2012-2013 annual budget and amendment thereof. Whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court has realized unbudgeted receipts from the following funds. Section 1 receipt, total amended revenues, $499,112.64. Section B, appropriations, total amended appropriations, $499,112.64. That's the first reading in summary form.
First reading. Madam
Authorize the
Treasurer.
submission of perfection invoice number JC 7824 in the amount of $169,786.81 to CAECO for payment, and judge to sign the disbursement request for the May progress billing.
Have a motion. Have a motion, Master Robinson, to have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Adoption of a resolution authorizing the purchase of the dump trucks and transfer trucks for the CAECO lease.
To have a motion.
Need to read that, Roland,
Yes.
the resolution?
You need to read it, Mr. County Attorney.
It's not in the packet.
It's in my stuff. I just gave you. It says Kelly Mittler on the front.
Judge, this is a resolution in summary form. It's a resolution approving a lease for the financing of a project, providing for the payment and security of the lease, and authorizing the execution of various documents related to such lease. It's basically the same form resolution which we have used in past years to adopt this lease to finance the trucks.
Have a motion. Have a motion, Master Robinson. Have a second, Master Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson.
No.
Mr. Harris.
Abstain.
And Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
When we had the first reading of the budget, I need you all to adopt the order of the pre-approved certain reoccurring expenses for the fiscal year 2013-2014. We read them into
Read them into the record live court
record,
meeting.
but we didn't actually adopt them, and we sent them to Frankfurt, and they've been signed off on.
Motion to adopt. Have a motion. Motion, Master Murphy. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson. Yes. Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Authorize the following checks. Prater's Mobile Home Movers, a trailer for the Lick Creek Park, $18,000. Magistrate Murphy's covering that with his park money and his road money.
Motion, Master Murphy. Have a second. Master Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes.
Is it exactly $18,000? I've still not seen an invoice for it, which I'd have to have before we can issue the payment.
I never have got it from them. I've called them 3 times and asked them for it, and they have not faxed it.
Well, at this point, we'll just pay them the $18,000. If there's any difference, we'll make it up the next court meeting. Smith Construction, do you have an amount on the construction of dressing rooms at the Hatfield-McCoy Park?
The dressing rooms are complete.
How much is that?
I believe it's 3,600, wasn't it? 33? I don't have that with me, but it was right through there. Yeah, it was brought up and approved in court before.
I need an invoice, even though it was,
I can get that.
I need an invoice
Need
for
a
whatever.
motion to approve the invoice once submitted.
So not to exceed 3,300?
I
Not
think,
to
John, I'm
exceed
not sure,
3,300.
Damus, 33 to 36, I'm thinking it was 33, I'm not really sure.
Not to exceed 3,600, and that should cover us.
Not to exceed 3,600. Master Dodson have a motion. Second?
Second.
Have a second from Master Anderson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson. Mr. Dodson.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Yes.
Authorize a check to Larry Young Construction in an amount of $34,650, which is 50% advance payment on the bathroom construction at the Hatfield-McCoy Park
That is,
Ramey, or do you recommend that? You're the inspector.
he has only got about a third of that completed, so he shouldn't get the full half.
So change it to a third.
Yes.
Okay.
A motion,
Whatever a
Manager
third of
Dodson.
69,300
Motion,
is.
Manager Dodson, have a second? Have a second, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Yes. Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
I have no further business, Judge.
So it's a third of 69 on that order.
Manager Harris, we need to go into executive session on
Make a
personnel,
motion
please.
pursuant to KRS 61-810 that we move into executive session, discuss specific personnel matters.
Have a motion, have a second. Have a second, Manager Robinson, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Well, I have a motion to bring the Pike County Fiscal Court back into regular session out of closed session to discuss personnel. Have a motion, have a second, and Manager Johnson, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris?
Yes. Here.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Judge Hayes, personnel.
Personnel judge has the following recommendations. A Packer truck driver, solid waste area number 1 at Johns Creek, 3H rate of pay. That was posted and 4 employees bid on the job, all full-time. The senior qualified employee was Jeffrey Varney, and that's our recommendation for that position. Next, Judge, we need approval of this court to hire Melvin McCoy as a temporary replacement truck driver for road lot number 5 at a 3H rate of pay, effective June the 5th, 2013, who is replacing an employee who's currently off on workers' compensation. Next, approval to hire Cameron Smith and Austin Mayhorn as lifeguards at the Phelps Pool and Brooke Branham as lifeguard at the Hardy Pool at a 0H rate of pay per hour effective May 24, 2013. And the final 2 matters, Judge, are we're requesting approval of a suspension without pay until further orders of this court of an employee, Justin Arnett, from solid waste area number 2, and that would be effective June the 5th, 2013. And likewise, approval of a suspension without pay until further orders of this court of Harry Wade Adkins from solid waste area number 2, effective June the 5th, 2013.
I have considered the recommendation of the Personnel Office, and it'd be my recommendation and my motion. Have a second. Have a second, Manager Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Have a motion to adjourn. Motion, Manager Murphy, second, Manager Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Harris and Judge Rutherford?